Well, hey friends, welcome to another episode of Coffee and Conspiracy here on A Moment with Hales. You will notice that I don't have coffee because I am recording this in the evening, but I wanted to do a quick little video to share kind of a personal conspiracy theory I have, and I hope it's not too hot of a take in the climate that we're in right now. But my inspiration for this video actually came from TikTok, what's new, and as I was scrolling on TikTok the other day, I noticed that I was receiving some interesting information in my TikTok feed. Now, I have never searched Israel, I've never searched the war going on, I've never searched Gaza, Palestine, anything like that. And recently I've noticed in my feed that I'm receiving more and more information about Israel and the war. So I reached out to a couple other TikTok girlies that I know to see if they were receiving the same information as well. And a few of my friends did say yes, that they've noticed that they're receiving more information about Israel on TikTok, and they actually reached out to their friends and they said the same thing. So if you are someone who's on TikTok, I would love to know if you've been experiencing some more Israel content than normal on your feed as well. But I wanted to talk about this because social media is definitely a part of our lives, and it's important to note that when we're scrolling on social media, our mind is in a hypnotic state. We're basically under a hypnosis. Same thing when you're consuming media or television, you're in what they would call like a trance. So your defense mechanisms are down, your critical thinking skills are down, you're in a state of amusement, and that can be a dangerous place when you're consuming so much information and in such a rapid amount of time. And it's really important to realize that we might be more susceptible to information when we're scrolling through social media, and that it's designed that way because, friends, social media is free because our minds are the products that are being sold. And unfortunately, our minds are now craving the consumption and the entertainment. I mean, we are completely addicted to scrolling, and that again has been done by design. We're scrolling, waiting for that next dopamine hit, just like if you were sitting at a slot machine waiting for the next result to come through. Entertainment has changed from something that used to bring communities together and get you out of the house, like to go to the theater or out to dinner, to now being amused, alone, and isolated in your own house just with a device. And did you know the word amusement comes from an old English verb that means to stare stupidly or to waste time? I'm not going to go on and on about social media, but I think it's important. I want people to know when they are scrolling through social media, they're in a relaxed state of mind that can be extremely dangerous when you're consuming all this different information. So as I was seeing this pro-Israel information on my TikTok feed, I remembered hearing that Israel was gonna like buy TikTok or acquire TikTok or something. So I decided to do my own research. And as I literally just did one little Google search, this video came up and I wanted to share it with you guys. This is Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, chatting about TikTok.
Okay. And you can't fight with cavalry. That doesn't work very well. And you have these new things, like drones to use the tools of battle. The weapons change over time. You can't fight today with swords. That doesn't work very well, okay? And you can't fight with cavalry. That doesn't work very well. And you have these new things, like drones, things like that. I won't get into that. But we have to fight with the weapons that apply to the battlefields in which we're engaged. And the most important ones are the social media. And the most important purchase that is going on right now is followers. TikTok. TikTok. Number one. And I hope it goes through because it can be consequential. And the other one, what's the other one that's most important? X. Exactly. Very good. And, so we have to talk to Elon. He's not an enemy. He's a friend. We should talk to him. Now, if we can get those two things, we get a lot, and I could go on other things, but that's not the point right now.
So this is where Netanyahu kind of says the quiet part out loud. The weapons of war have changed over time. The most important weapons are social media. He specifically talks about TikTok being consequential, and then he brings up X and how Elon Musk is a friend. And I'm not going to go too much on Elon Musk and how he went on his little apology tour to the concentration camp into Israel. I think that was last year. But the point is, Netanyahu makes it very clear that social media is a new weapon for a new kind of war. And my point here is not to be pro-Israel or anti-Israel. I just want to say if any foreign leader is saying they want to acquire a social media company because they're viewing it as a weapon for a battlefield, I think that should be problematic or concerning for all of us, because if it was Vladimir Putin saying this or Kim Jong-un saying this, people might be a little bit more concerned. Also, I just want to say, which someone can fact check me or give me more information, I'm asking here, didn't like America acquire a lot of TikTok? Like, don't billionaires in our country have the majority of the shares? So we're openly selling something to a foreign nation when we know they want to use it as a weapon of war. I just think that's interesting. If we're selling weapons of war openly out to a different nation, like that just seems problematic, but I don't know, maybe that's just me. But like I said, I do feel like if this was a different country, more people would have more to say. But seeing Netanyahu talk about how these are new weapons for new wars, it did remind me of this book called Behold a Pale Horse by William Cooper. And William Cooper was definitely someone really interesting. I enjoyed reading this book. Some people called him like a conspiracy nut. He talked about the Freemasons to the Illuminati to all different secret societies to the Bilderberg Group to mind control to aliens, all sorts of stuff. But one thing he talked about which stuck out to me when I was seeing this information is a document that was entitled A New World Order that was written in 1969. And by now, I feel like we've all heard New World Order, that phrase said over and over and over again, especially post-COVID. And his specific information that he pulled out from that document was entitled Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. And in this documentation, it describes what silent weapons are. And I'm going to read it to you guys. It says, therefore, the silent weapon is a type of biology warfare. It attacks the vitality, options, and mobility of the individuals of a society by knowing, understanding, manipulating, and attacking their sources of natural and social energy, their physical, mental, and emotional strengths and weaknesses. Friends, the reaction that you're having to social media is biological. The shorts, the consumption, the craving, the addiction, the overstimulation, it's all biological warfare trying to manipulate you while you think you're just being simply amused. Also hearing Netanyahu talk about how social media is the battle or like the ground for war at this point reminded me of a video that Really Graceful shared, and it really just came to my mind, especially when he was talking about how the battlefield or war itself has completely changed. So I'm going to put that in here. You guys take a listen.
Hey internet friends, I wanted to make this quick video today. I received an email from a foreign nation offering monetary compensation in exchange for essentially promoting and creating content to boost said country's reputation. I'm making this video today to showcase how all internet friends probably already do, but absolutely should use discernment online. Because your influencers, your social media personalities might not be as genuine as you think. I've already done my research on this person and his company. This isn't your run-of-the-mill Nigerian prince scam. It's an actual person with an Israeli-based company. Hi Grace, I'm Ido from the Movers community. I wanted to personally reach out to you for a paid opportunity with the goal of promoting a positive view of Israel. We operate a user-friendly platform featuring original content endorsed by Israel's government advertising agency, where members actively promote curated pro-Israeli content, becoming ambassadors with just a few clicks. Interested, Grace? Let's discuss details and compensation. We're few against many, but together we will win. Apparently, Israel reaching out to influencers is no new phenomenon. I want to show you this video posted by Sam Parker Sennett on Twitter.
Will fully support Palestine. And I just felt the need to put that out there because a brand really tried to pay me to change my opinion today. That's not going to happen. You cannot buy my morals. Said if I take the post down and publicly announce that I do not support, that they will pay me basically double the amount that we agreed on, and they would repost my video onto their feed, which obviously has loads of followers. I am so... In what actual right mind do you think that you can buy my morals?
$5,000 is what I was just offered to pledge my support to Israel. This Zionist organization emailed me this morning and they said, we are willing to offer you $5,000 to go live and pledge your support for Israel.
I'm not putting this in here to saying you need to be pro-Israel or anti-Israel. I'm putting this in here because it's important to know that influencers and people that you watch online are approached asking them to push agendas by foreign nations. This is an important thing to realize, especially as you're sitting there in a hypnotic state just scrolling through your social media. I do find it interesting too because it really goes back to what William Cooper wrote in regards to silent weapon for quiet wars. The battlefield has changed. We are fighting a quiet war, and one of the silent weapons is truly social media. So friends, I felt compelled to share this with you because as we're all casually scrolling on social media in the comfort of our own home, in our kitchen, in our backyard, waiting to pick up the kids at the pickup line, we may feel comfortable, safe, and protected, but your mind is actually in combat. Your mind is on the battlefield and you need protection. Just like Netanyahu said, the war battlefield has changed and it now takes place in your mind. It's a war of confusion, a war of manipulation, a war of chaos, a war of distraction, and you need to be prepared when you enter into the battlefield and start scrolling. And I'm gonna close with something that Edward Bernays said in his book, Propaganda. And let's remember, he was the PR guru, public relations guru, and he was also the grandson of Sigmund Freud. And I'm gonna close with what he opens his book with. He says, the consciousness and intelligent manipulation of the organized habits and opinions of the masses is an important element in a democratic society. Those who manipulate the unseen mechanism of society constitute an invisible government, which is the true ruling power of the country. And I would even argue, if you want to insert in here, those who manipulate the unseen mechanism or social media are the true ruling power of the world. Friends, social media is being used to manipulate you into modifying your behavior in a way that's going to benefit someone else. You need to be aware of that as you're scrolling through and really be considering, what am I being persuaded to believe in, or what am I being persuaded to do, or what action am I being persuaded to take, or what mindset am I being persuaded to have based off the information that's being put in front of me. Just remember, friends, social media is free because your mind is the product that's being sold.